It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, happy after Halloween, Steph. How are you?
Happy after Halloween. I'm good, Gary. No.
Actually, isn't today supposed to be election? Why is today not election day? I thought election day was the first Tuesday in November every year. Why is today not election day?
I don't know.
When I was in high school, that's what they kept saying. Remember, first Tuesday in November.
It's also, isn't it Wednesday at noon? rAVe TV, Wednesday at noon.
Yeah, but why wasn't the election yesterday? Yesterday was November 1st, I guess I should say.
I don't know.
Like it's something, there must be
Something
some kind
to
of rule,
ponder.
like unless it's the first day of the month. But I don't remember that from school. You know, like in school, they beat it in your head that it's first Tuesday every.
It was a long time ago that you were in school when
It was
dinosaurs
a long time ago.
roamed
This was
the
like
earth.
back before we didn't have clocks in the classrooms back
The
then. so.
pilgrims had just come over
We
on
used
the
we used
Mayflower.
the sunlight reflecting off that thing, you know, that I don't know what that thing's called. Pendulum. I don't know what that thing's called.
Yes.
Outside. Hey y'all, we are coming to you live from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Steph is in the launch studio and I am in my office on campus. And this is rAVe TV, our weekly TV show that is the only live TV show in the AV industry. And we've been bringing this show to you for a year and a half now.
We have.
Believe
It's
it
a
or not.
really long time.
And we're coming to you live on ravepubs.com, on YouTube at ravepubs, youtube.com/ravepubs, on my LinkedIn feed, on the company's LinkedIn feed, ravepubs LinkedIn feed, Facebook and Twitter. All those places are live, and we appreciate y'all joining us every week to get the lowdown on the news. And there's been some acquisition news this week we're going to talk about, Steph, so that's some big news. But I know you want to talk about Zoomtopia because you're getting ready to head out to Cali.
I'm excited. This will be like I want to say like fourth time in California. I've never been to San Jose before, but
it's beautiful, San Jose.
I'm very much looking forward to being at Zoomtopia. This is so weird though. My only thing is I wish I were there for longer because I really wanted to go. There's like a haunted house, the Winchester house. I've always wanted to go.
I don't know if year-round. It's a year-round haunted house.
Like, no, it's like actually haunted. Like it's a historic home that was like owned by the Winchester family, like the Guns.
Yep.
And she like thought the house, the owner, I think her name was like Sarah Winchester. She thought the house was haunted. So she believed that if she like continued to keep building onto the house, that like the ghosts wouldn't get her or something. And so like the house has a lot of like stairs that lead to nowhere and stuff. So I've always wanted to go. It's in San Jose, but I'm not going to be able to go. So I'll just have to go next time.
Yeah, San Jose is interesting. It's very much has a small town feel, but I don't know if you know much about the laws in California, but in that part of California, there's a bunch of laws about not being able to build buildings taller than 2 or 3 stories. So you see a whole bunch of sprawl out there. There's a few, you'll see a few tall buildings like hotels and a few office buildings, but everything else is pretty low, like shorter, like 2 or 3 stories, right? So if you stay in the hotel next to Zoom, you'll actually, I don't know where you're staying, but if you are, when you look out, you'll be able to see like 50, 60, 70 miles if it's clear out.
Yeah. I'm in the downtown 4 Points Sheraton.
I think I stayed there. Depending on how high you are, you'll be able to see a long way.
Very cool. I'm excited. And I'm excited about Zoomtopia, of course. So this will be my first one. We are obviously like, big proponents of Zoom. Like I'm not shy
all types
when
of
I
collaboration.
say that. Yes, but I'm not shy when I say that like that's my video conferencing software of choice. So it'll be fun to go out there and see the companies that collaborate with them. And I'm excited to see Timbaland's keynote, fireside chat at the end of the day.
Is he going to sing it? Is he going to collaborate with?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that he's going to have a talk at the end of the day. Miss Ungermeyer from the Lizzie McGuire movie will be there. And she's also, in Gilmore Girls, that actress is randomly going to be there. Right. I don't know why, but I'm excited about it. So yeah,
never
it's gonna be
seen
a lot
either
of
shows.
like,
I can't help you. I mean,
and
I've seen
Nelly,
it on.
Nelly is performing, so this is just gonna be a gaggle of entertainment.
Right.
But who else is gonna be at Zoomtopia, Gary?
Eric, you on?
Yes, but also rAVe Pro AV. So go make sure to check them out at Zoomtopia. They're going to be there November 8th and 9th. They're going to be at booth 14. So make sure to check them out. They are really working hard at getting more into the Pro AV UCC market. Their cameras are great.
They have great Pro AV PTZ cameras, and a lot of people don't think of them because they're not the big names that you think of it, because they weren't originally in collaboration, right? They were on the video conferencing side, the high-end video conferencing side. Now they're in the collaboration side, and they got a whole product line of PTZ and ePTZ cameras. So you ought to check them out.
Yeah. Really quick, Gary, do you want to talk about, you weren't just in Charlotte for Snap One?
Oh, yeah, I went and visited Snap One and got the lowdown on, it's interesting. That company, if you ask 10 people in the industry what Snap One is, half of them would say they're a distributor, and half of them would say they're a manufacturer. And what's interesting is they are much more a manufacturer than a distributor. They are distributing products because they want to be a one-stop shop for integrators. That's literally the reason. Like they're even distributing competitive products. Like they have Legrand Luxel switches, even though they have their own switches, right? And and I asked them why they have those in stock, and they said because people do want those, and we want to be the one place they go to get everything. We don't want them to have to buy everything except so because they make speakers, they make surveillance cameras, they make UC cameras, they make audio gear, they make MOIP, what they call MOIP or media over IP stuff. They make cables. They make monitors. In fact, they bought, one of the largest outdoor Sunbright TV, one of the largest outdoor TV companies, and turned them into a monitor company. They have outdoor speakers and with LED ring light. I mean, they're more than just a distributor. And I got a tour of the place, and in fact, that's going to turn into a 12-part video cast series. I ultimately took a camera with me, and we shot a whole bunch of videos so that people would see what they're like. And we'll release that here in the coming weeks. Certainly we'll start releasing them before the holidays, and it'll probably lead us to early next year. But I was really impressed with how big they were. I didn't know. I mean, they're like 1,500 people. It's a big company. They're not a little small company. I think, most people think of them as like a small, again, if you ask half people in the industry, they would see them as a distributor. The other half would see them as a high-end residential company, but they do a lot more. So it'll be interesting for when we release these videos. It'll be interesting to see what other people's impressions are.
Yeah. And I think that those videos will help like solidify them in both spaces,
Well, so I think, it's interesting. Both. Every product they have is in stock.
Yeah.
Every product they have is in stock. And right now with companies having delivery problems, they're looking everywhere. Right. I mean, I think Paul Harris has been, vocal about how the shortage has benefited Aurora.
Vocal's an understatement.
I mean, yeah. But, it's the same thing with like, if you're looking for, your speaker company is not available for something you're getting, or your camera company is not available, like surveillance cameras, security cameras, you need outdoor, they're not in stock. They're in a good position. It'll be interesting because they make everything themselves.
Yeah. Well, this is just going to be good for brand awareness and stuff. So I'm excited to see what comes of it, Gary.
Yeah.
Without further ado, I think I'm going to bring on our special guest. So Paul Konikowski, cybersecurity architect at L3 Audio Visual, is joining us now. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you. First of all, I saw that you said you have been to the Winchester House.
I have.
Tell me. Did you have any experience?
I lived in the Bay Area for about 10 years. And so once when I was out there, I met up with some friends there. And it's just like you said, you're right on point. It was the family house, and the widow, inherited it. And she had to keep building to keep the ghost away, basically, and keep tricking them into going into other places.
The wrong
became
rooms.
Obsessed with it. And there's this really really interesting stained glass and stuff in there also, just on its own is beautiful. But one of the things I really remember though is that the tour guides are sort of these younger college folks, high schoolers that really they're kind of burned out and don't care about it, so they're giving the tour in sort of and over here you got another 27 windows, and out here, watch your step. Very insincere, but in the same way, like it's kind of what you want. Like it's almost a recording,
like it's entertaining.
They've said it so many times. They and maybe you'll get a more like personal tour guide. But I got one of them that's like, it was almost sarcasm, watch your step.
I once had like a haunted tour in St. Augustine because I love like to do a haunted tour every city I go. So I was doing one in St. Augustine, and the girl leading the tour was like a theater major. So of course it was like the best
Oh, yeah.
tour I've ever been
Right,
on
it's
in
a
my
much
life
bigger
because she
production.
pulled out all the stops. She put on the Ritz. Like, so it's so funny how like different ones can be. But anyway, the whole point of why I had you on here was to talk about your most recent article that was on Uber's most recent cybersecurity incident, which for those who might not have read it yet, do you want to give like the Reader's Digest version of like what happened?
Sure. I'm sure some people have heard about the Slack chat that happened, the hacker getting into the Slack. But
that's like my favorite thing. Like, hey, I'm here and I did this, and also I'm about to log all of you out.
and the employees supposedly reacting with, the popcorn GIF, GIF, however you want to, you pronounce it in your area. But if you, let's see how this goes down. Supposedly,
Right.
So that's how we all heard about it. But as we dug in a little bit deeper, I found there was actually a couple breaches. One was back in 2016 that I'm going to try to spin it in a positive light that we learned a lesson from, which is it's better to tell people than try to just pay off. Because what they did is they paid a ransom to have the data that was basically copied destroyed. They still had a copy of their own data. They weren't locked down, so they kind of paid off.
So like,
and then it happened again, and this time their response wasn't great either. So there's two breaches.
So my question about the first breach, when they like paid the hacker group to delete it, like how do you actually know that they deleted it after you paid them? Like you know.
That's a good question. According to what they. According to what they said, hackers have according to what they said, that they had some sort of proof of it being destroyed, and so it may have sometimes been a screenshot of them grabbing the folder and dragging over into the trash bin and then deleting their trash bin. I don't know. There has to be some level of faith, but the idea is that there's probably someone on the other end that's happy to get the money. And the whole thing is that as you pay these ransoms, it perpetuates the cycle. And so people will keep deleting the data because they want to keep getting the ransom, and people will keep paying the ransom because they keep, so it's this cycle that's vicious. I don't know. That's a good question. They probably still have a copy somewhere.
Probably.
But they're sort of promising not to release it, I think. And then it's, there is some sort of like, I don't know. There are people on the other end. So depending on who's hacking you, if it's a nation state, whatever, you could actually negotiate some of those things, because if they're holding you ransom, they probably want to get out of it quickly too. You know what I mean? And have you stop bugging them or, decide to call the police or anything on them. So they want to just get away also. So there's a bit of double psychology there.
Wow, A Hacker with a Heart of Gold. Is that a movie yet?
There's a lot of 80s movies on hackers, which I love, which I absolutely love. The Slack thing kind of reminded me of that,
Yeah. Like, do you ever, whenever I am writing a story of yours and I have to go find like a picture that I can like legally use with it, and I type in hacker, it's always like black hoodie, like ones and zeros in the background.
Usually blue or green. There's a lock. There's a lot of times there's a lock thing. It's kind of I think it's kind of funny. There's much more it's usually more people that just dress in normal clothes. I mean, there's certain element of sort of video gamer, aspect to it for sure. Because I don't know why. I personally am not much of a gamer. I haven't played since Tony Hawk in high school. I mean, in college, but anyway, getting off track.
Okay, so I guess like Uber's first response was like not great. Like they paid off the group and tried to like not say anything about it, and it obviously like came out later.
It came out later. Yep, go ahead. And
they're in court for that now, correct?
The court, I think, is over. The CSO from 2016 was convicted.
Okay.
So that case is over. But there's a new case against them because of the latest breach, because they kind of downplayed it and they didn't answer it. So yes, there's a lawsuit against them. So yes, they're going back to court for that.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the response to
I might be
cyber
getting a
attack.
mistake with another one. I get these mixed
no,
up
you're fine.
sometimes, I swear. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Talk
you're
about
fine.
the
Let's
response.
let's talk about the response to cyber attack 2. Because that one was like a blog post and they were like, oh, like this like happened. Like it was, you know, not a big deal when it was actually like kind of a big deal. So
Right.
yeah, do you want to talk about that response a little bit more?
Sure. The way they responded is not unlike a lot of companies, because a lot of companies are trying to do what's called damage control, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to just downplay it. They often claim to have discovered it themselves when someone else actually tipped them off on it. And then they try to downplay it. And in this case, there was a few other hacks that happened around that time. And let's say the gentleman that joined the Slack channel, you know, there was some ties to this hacking group called Lapsus. And so the company also attributed this hack to Lapsus, but to do that, a lot of people sort of scratched their head and said, "Are you sure? You know, are you sure you're not just saying that to get us off our back?" And
yeah,
sort of like in the Batman movies where everything gets blamed on Batman, you know.
yeah, for sure. They're just like, here's this like unnamed entity.
Yeah.
Let's just blame that.
Yeah.
So what can other companies take away and learn from Uber and what to do or what not to do if they find themselves in a similar situation?
Sure. Yeah. The article was, you know, what not to do. Let's talk about what to do. First of all, get to know your state laws, and the requirements for announcing a breach. That's a great thing to know. So how soon do you have to announce it? Some states don't want you to announce how many people were affected, and some states say that you need to announce how many people. Some are as short as 3 days, and some are like 45 days. So having it prompt, even drafting some sort of release in advance. So if it does happen, you have something ready to go. And you know, try to put the people first and be transparent about it. Update you know, once a day if you can, and to say, you know, just don't downplay it is a big key.
Yeah. How would you have rewritten the response if you were in charge of that at Uber?
Well, I wouldn't have said the word believe, you know,
Yeah.
because even if I believe something, that doesn't mean it's to be true. We can believe in
Yeah.
Santa Claus, you know, for instance, and there's nothing wrong with believing in Santa. Sorry, kids. But you know, so you know, having you know, even stating we're not sure who did it,
Yeah.
is a better way to do it, I'd say.
Well, yeah, because I mean that's like believable that they would not be sure who did it. Like, you know, not every hacker like announces themselves. So, you know, they could be like, we're not really sure who's behind this, but we're looking into it and here's the precautions we have taken.
Yeah, there's a couple other there's a lot of bad examples out there of what not to do. Equifax set up like a helpline that was false. You know, they took a tweet that somebody put out. Somebody put out a tweet, said, "Oh, if you've been affected by the Equifax breach, you know, click here," and it was actually another hack. And they retweeted it. Sorry, Equifax. Facts is facts. So there's so many bad, and it's amazing. The bigger the hack, it's like, now you guys really messed this up.
Yeah.
Bigger and bigger. So there's a new one out.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
mention
Gary...
before I jump off. I want to mention a new threat that may affect AV people.
Okay.
It might be worth talking about if we have time.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'll be quick about it. There's something called ConnectWise. It's a quoting system that at least 2 of my previous employers used to use. I think they've both have upgraded out of it to a bigger quoting system. But I imagine there's some AV people out there that probably use ConnectWise, and I'm guessing out of those people, some haven't patched it. The patch that came out, you know, within the last month or 2 or something like that, you know. So just giving anyone a heads up if that sounds familiar to you. Tell your IT department, little tidbit of help there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last question I have for you, PK. How can people reach you if they would like to chat more?
The best way to find me generally in social is to search PK Audiovisual, and you'll find me on Twitter that way. Just one word, PK Audiovisual. That's also my handle on LinkedIn, and those are the best ways to reach me.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this episode. We really appreciate it, as always.
And go to the window.
Oh yeah, I will go to the Winchester house for sure. So, okay, next thing we're going into, we're going to show you more of Shure's KSM11, and then Gary and I are going to come right back.
When we're looking at vocal mics, we want the mic to produce the artist in a true form. And it was immediately obvious to us that the KSM11 was doing that better than anything else.
When I compared it to the other very popular mic, the 11 had a much better high end to it. It was much smoother, much more natural.
I love it is because it makes my performance effortless.
The vocal is just more upfront somehow.
It's cutting right through. It just sounds so amazing.
The goal of the KSM11 was to make the most transparent microphone capsule that we could. Field testing is a critical component of designing a product at Shure. And working with industry engineers, we were able to identify the smallest detail decisions that had the greatest impact in design.
We were getting ready for a run of festivals. A festival is your best test, really, because it's outdoors, the elements and everything. She stepped out on stage, and she still had clarity.
Benny was actually a totally different beast. He was a lot more comfortable, and the spill from the band was actually much lesser.
Those early KSM11 prototypes sounded great. We could have actually shipped that product, but that's not how we do things at Shure.
Shure is a company that understands the bigger picture with their product and how they're designed not just for the user, but also the audience.
Rappers, MCs, they always cup the mic. That is the notorious problem with hip hop.
It's not very cool to hold a microphone like this, you know? So you need a microphone that sounds good when you hold it like this or when you hold it like this.
I actually talked to Shure and I said, boy, it'd be really nice if you guys had a mic that could do this. And so they sent me the capsule, the KSM11, an early version of it. I sent back some notes. They sent me back another one and I was like, you nailed it, you got it. It is consistent whether or not your artist cups the mic.
As a musical theatre vocal mic, where achieving vocal clarity is absolutely sound design 101. My first experiences of it is that it is a great step forward.
One of the other things to consider when you pick a vocal mic isn't just how it sounds in the room, but how it sounds in broadcast. And we were so impressed with how it came across on the streams, on the broadcast, and how it stood up to being listened to in that environment, as well as in a busy room.
I love designing new microphones. As you design a product over years, you learn exactly what customers need. And being able to finally deliver that need to our customers is the most exciting part.
The KSM11 compared to other capsules, I think it's far superior.
Put it in your lineup because it's going to be a natural sounding mic.
We're using it on our leading man with absolutely no debate.
It's honest and it does exactly what you need it to do as an engineer.
I can just trust it. I can trust that capsule to get the job done.
Hey, Steph, I don't know if you know this or not, and we should probably add this to rAVe TV next week, but I'm actually leading a webinar on cybersecurity specifically for AV dealers
cool.
next month. Or actually, no, it's later this month. I'll make sure I'll make sure to get Carrie the details because I think it'll be worth joining. And I'm actually gonna have I should probably ask Paul to join too. Yeah. But I'm gonna have a cybersecurity expert who works both in the IT and the AV field join.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, definitely ask Paul.
And also where the opportunities are, because there's an opportunity because we're getting in at all levels of communications, right, within our organizations, and they're invariably going to say, can you help us with this? So you might as well consider becoming an integrator for that too.
It's all part of the AV-IT convergence.
Exactly, it is.
But Gary, there's been some acquisition news. Would you like to tell me about it?
Yeah. So one piece of news that came out today was Solutions, who's big national integrator or becoming a bigger national integrator, acquired Spinatar. This one is kind of near and dear to me because I actually worked with Jeff Irvin 23 or 24 years ago to help him convert his company from a box house to a systems company. and actually introduced Jeff Irvin to Jay Regina. I was the one who introduced the two. So I'm
That's
really
cool.
proud of what they did, because the two of those guys really had amazing chemistry. And together they took the organization from a very, very small company that was run basically by Jeff and his wife, who both of them were amazing people, and grew it into this, big organization that's dominating, in many ways, most of the major areas, including San Jose, where you're going to go, and in California, Arizona, Nevada area. That's kind of where they focused.
Cool.
So I think this is a great, for solutions, they're getting a magical company because Spinatar has grown organically, not through, just picking other people off. And they've been very strategic. And Jeff Irvin is one of the smartest guys I've ever met. Like, Jeff is very personable, but also very cerebral, quietly smart kind of guy.
Yeah.
And Jay Regina, who was at American Video many, many years ago, where I met him, who was running, at the time, he was running service department and maintenance department, who's now the president of the company, is probably one of the most astute people with regard to our industry, meaning he knew everything about our industry. And the two of those guys together built something awesome over the last 22, 23 years since I introduced them. So I'm really excited for both of them. So yeah, I think it's good.
That's awesome. Continuing on, we've got a couple of UCC news pieces here. So LG's One Quick Works video conferencing display, it earned a Zoom Rooms hardware certification. And, just wanted to add that because LG, I think, is also going to be at Zoomtopia. Yes, they are.
And they're new in the collaboration space, so they're obviously
so
join
getting a Zoom certification, this is like a good time for them to do that, like right ahead of Zoomtopia. So they're going to be at booth 35 if you want to check LG out at Zoomtopia. And then our other news, Clear One announced the Unite 60, which is a wide angle 4K USB camera. The difference between this one and its other models are that this one is wide angle. This is a 120 degree field of view, I want to say. So
versus 90, which is what they had before. But yeah, I think, Clear One is still there. I mean, I think a lot of people wonder what happened to Clear One for a while, and they've definitely had some bad years. But I think they're trying to make a comeback, and more power to them. They were a company that has a big history in our industry. So, but hey, speaking of a company with a giant history, how about Legrand?
So Legrand has some Impact kiosks, so we are going to show you a video of what those look like right now.
I'm excited about this. Sorry, Steph. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say I'm excited about, and by the way, thanks Legrand for being a sponsor of rAVe TV along with Aver and Shure. I'm excited about this upcoming launch and learn about trade show management, because I think it's interesting how many companies spend hundreds of thousands and potentially millions of dollars doing a trade show and don't have a way to deal with leads, which is how they measure ROI. The biggest way that companies measure ROI is number of leads divided by, or the total cost of doing the show divided by number of leads. And that's how they determine a per person ROI. And what's interesting is that I got an email today from a company that exhibited at a show that you and I went to, not even a month ago, Cedia, and their email to me, which was the first contact they made since the show, was 2 sentences that gave me no reason to click on the CTA or the call to action to contact them. So I feel like there's a missed opportunity when somebody walks in your booth, and I feel like no better person to really do this webinar with than Barbara, because Barbara ran Avixa Infocom marketing for Infocom for many years.
Yeah, so definitely join that. It's going to be November 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you scan that QR code. That'll take you right to launch where you can register today. Continuing, we have some in-person events. DSE, Gary, you and I are going to go to DSE in Las Vegas.
I only bought my ticket.
You already bought? Oh, you bought your plane ticket at
I
long last.
I did buy my ticket, so I make sure I'll be there on Thursday. For those of you who are there, I'll be there on Thursday and Friday of the show, and we'll be broadcasting live.
When are you flying home?
The red eye on Friday.
Okay. Yep. Very cool. So yeah, you can enjoy, if you are, on the fence, but you think you want to come, definitely go ahead and register. Use our code rAVEGIFT, and that will get you free entrance onto the show floor. All you got to do is be like Gary and go book your plane ticket right after.
And then there's Vegas. We all haven't been in Vegas in a while, so hey,
I know.
Yeah.
We haven't been since June, so it'll definitely be a good time. Also, show coming up, ISE 2023. It is coming. It seems like it was just here, which was fair because it was in May. But this one's going to be January 31st to February 3rd, 2023, and you can use the code rAVE Europe, all one word, and you can get a free exhibit hall pass using that code as well. So go ahead and register. We
should do an e-blast on that to make sure people use that code, because I want to help them out. I love Mike Blackman and his team, and they do a great job. I'm excited. I love the show because it's a combined pro and high-end residential show.
Exactly.
And I, as you know, missed Barcelona because I was sick, so I'm excited to go. So.
I'm excited for you to go. I'm excited for you to see what this trade show floor is like. I think that you, like me, will love it. You will love this convention center. It is so easy to navigate, easy to find where you're going, easy to go to the next hall, because there's a lot of them. I think it was like 7 or 8 last year, and it was just easy to get from one to the other, like super easy. So I'm looking forward to it. And of course, I love Barcelona. It's very beautiful. So I'm very happy that it's, there.
And it's always warmer than Amsterdam. So
definitely warmer than Amsterdam. So not a bad thing either. But yes, that is our show. Thank you all so much for watching again. As always, you can come back here. We are here every Wednesday at noon.
And all of our issues, all of our episodes are archived at raypubs.com/TV. So you can see them
and
all
you
there.
can go watch all past episodes on YouTube as well. And that fun little QR code that pops up throughout the show, you can scan that to go access any of the stories or links or anything that we have talked about. That will get you to raypubs.com to all those stories as well. So thanks, everybody. We will see you again next Wednesday. I will probably be joining from the airport, but sometimes it be like that. So I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.